The landscape of modern aerial warfare is undergoing a significant transformation as observers note a shift in the effectiveness of ballistic strikes. Rather than a decrease in offensive intensity, recent developments suggest a calculated exploitation of technical vulnerabilities in sophisticated defense networks. Experts indicate that the perceived ease of recent operations stems from a fundamental breakdown in the ability of high-altitude interceptors to track and engage targets during critical phases of flight. This transition has moved the conflict from a struggle for penetration to a scenario where defensive barriers have effectively been bypassed. Central to this shift is the physics of atmospheric reentry. Ballistic missiles, such as the Shahab series, are designed to exit the atmosphere and reach altitudes of approximately 600 kilometers before descending toward their targets. The primary challenge for defensive systems like the Terminal High Altitude Area Defense, or THAAD, occurs between 40 and 80 kilometers above the Earth. At these altitudes, missiles traveling at speeds exceeding Mach 7 generate a plasma sheath, often referred to as a blackout zone. This intense heat renders infrared seekers on intercepting missiles blind, as the sensor cannot see through the thermal barrier created by friction. While ground-based radar can attempt to provide course corrections, the inherent latency in data transmission creates a fatal margin of error. A delay of merely 15 milliseconds may seem negligible, but for a projectile traveling at Mach 15, this results in a physical displacement of 76.5 meters. In the realm of kinetic kill vehicles, which rely on direct physical impact to neutralize warheads, a miss of 76 meters is equivalent to a total failure. This technical gap has essentially neutralized the primary layer of high-altitude protection, leaving only lower-tier systems to manage the threat. With the high-altitude layer compromised, the burden of defense falls upon shorter-range systems like the Patriot Advanced Capability 3. However, these systems have a maximum engagement ceiling of approximately 22 kilometers. Strategic maneuvers now involve deploying multiple submunitions before the missile even reaches the engagement range of these lower-tier interceptors. By the time a defense system is capable of firing, it is faced with a saturation of targets that exceeds its processing and intercept capacity. Furthermore, the logistical reality on the ground complicates any attempt at a conventional military response. The existence of hundreds of reinforced tunnels with over 1,000 distinct entry and exit points creates a military environment described by analysts as an impossible game of whack-a-mole. Even with advanced cruise missiles like the Tomahawk, the flight time required to reach a launch site often exceeds the time it takes for a mobile unit to fire and return to a hardened shelter. This structural resilience, combined with the technical failure of interceptor seekers, has created a stalemate where the cost of defense far outweighs the cost of offense. As political leaders discuss ending the hostilities, the reality remains that initiating a conflict is far simpler than navigating the technical and geographical hurdles required to conclude it.